Welcome to 2 on the 10.
2 on the 10, baby. We back.
Hello.
Another week. Episode 11. I'm Paul.
I'm Mitch.
Greedy Nick.
Greedy.
Yeah, baby. Hey, again, I want to thank everyone for supporting out there.
Yes.
Mitch, you got a special shout out this week.
Oh, yeah. No, so this is kind of cool, man. So on Sunday, I went and grabbed a pizza. There's a spot in Arizona now, Mountain Mike's. For those from California, the Bay Area, Mountain Mike's originated out there. I remember they had a few in the Bay. They had one in Sacramento when I went to college. So, it's real nostalgic. It's a good pizza, expensive, but it's and it's like I don't want to disrespect it because it's like a round table clone, but they have this 20-inch pepperoni pizza. It's amazing. They got they got the good pepperonis, great cheese, etc. So anyway, I'm walking in to pick up this pizza over in Mesa because there's only a couple locations right now in Arizona. They just hit, and I hear somebody in the back go, "Is that Mitch?" And I look back, and it's our boy Mike Smith, who's actually our boy Ken's cousin, But the one thing about that is we're all kind of related family, through Ken's family, Shout out to Papa Bear and everybody else. But so Mike's in the back going, "What's up, Mitch? Hey, what's going on, man?" Took care of me on the pie, showed some love, and then what's crazy is he goes, "Hey, man, make sure you shout me out on your show. I listen every week."
Oh, that's dope.
So I thought that was super cool. And when we're trying to do stuff, building it from the ground up, every like, every subscribe, every just comment, and everybody just tuning in. And even if, feedback, good, bad, and different, that's important because we are doing this organically, and we do greatly, greatly appreciate it. So shout out Mike Smith and shout out everybody over at Mountain Mike's.
Shouts out.
Hey, thank you. Hey, let's get into it. I don't know if you guys heard about the missing fertilizer chemicals out of Wyoming.
What missing fertilizer chemicals?
No, this shit's wild.
Yeah, it's like explosive, ain't it?
Yeah, 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate pellets, which is fertilizer, but also used in explosives. AKA Oklahoma City, left Wyoming, and 2 weeks later it arrived in the Mojave Desert, and the train car was empty.
So it vanished between Wyoming and Nevada.
And they said that the seals on the car were still sealed, and they're trying to come up with all these theories on what happened to it. They've opened 4 different investigations.
David Copperfield.
Yeah. David Blaine.
They're saying maybe it leaked out the bottom. They really don't know. I mean, 4 different investigations looking into this. What's really going on? What happened to it? And it's a shit ton of ammonium nitrate. So
hopefully it's not the same people that had the cameras with Epstein or the cameras with the casinos in the Vegas shooting.
Yeah, I hope not. I don't think there's any cameras along this train route, but something happened, and it's not a far trip between Wyoming and the Mojave Desert, but somehow between that area, and it took 2 weeks, they checked the car and it was empty. So kind of crazy. Mitch, what do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, my mind just goes into what's up with all these trains in the United States right now with things missing, things spilling.
Right, derailing.
Exactly. Yep. And always with certain, dangerous chemicals. In fact, it's my understanding, now I'm no explosives expert. I play one on TV, but it's my understanding that ammonium nitrate is actually, defined as an explosive by Rule 2B of the 2012 ammonium nitrate rules, whatever that actually means. But it's
Sounds official.
No, exactly. It does. Google's your friend. Like you had said, though, that ammonium nitrate was supposedly allegedly used in the Oklahoma City bombings, which, by the way, in my opinion, for how much of a tragedy that was, we're going back. A lot of people don't realize this because 9/11 is the first big tragedy that we really, pay homage and go back to. But 1995, April 19th, 168 people were killed, 850 people were injured, including a lot of children killed and injured when the Fed building was bombed.
In Oklahoma City.
Yep. Yeah, and it's...
I remember that day. That day was crazy.
Okay, so what's crazy is to me, and again, of course, I'm this person, there's coincidence theorists and I'm the conspiracy theorist. So which side are you?
Hats on, folks.
Exactly. Hey, but... What's interesting is, first of all, did everybody know that the Oklahoma City bombings occurred on the 2nd anniversary of the Waco situation? Wow. It's very ironic, right? Yeah. Coincidence, right? Coincidence, of course. And, Timothy McVeigh was the person that was, named the culprit. He ended up being executed or whatever. He had military experience and backgrounds, et cetera. If you really look in that, we don't have time to go into this detail, but I just wanted to bring it up. The math's not mathing. The math's not mathing on that. I mean, I remember back in the day, and this is before the internet. So, I mean, well, the internet was around, but not too many people had access to it. You had to dial, wire up, sit there. Most people were playing Doom back then or whatever, if they were even online.
AOL chat rooms.
Exactly, what's it called? But with that said, so you weren't grabbing that information even, that's available now, was available before COVID, I should say, before they started, they started wiping everything.
So are you kind of saying Timothy McVeigh is kind of like a Lee Harvey Oswald? Was it
somewhere between? Yeah, I would say it's in my opinion, somewhere between that, a patsy. Between.
Well, there was a second suspect that was supposedly in the truck with him that's never been found, never been named. There's sketches of the guy, there's video of the guy, but it's like the main narrative for the story, he doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, that doesn't add up. For this guy to be so military trained and have this kind of a background, to be as sloppy as he was, in certain things where he left the truck and all this other details. Also, there was rumors that bombs that were in the building didn't explode. There was a lot of things that are just off with this. Just a lot of things that are off. Oh, and of course, just like in 9/11 fashion, people didn't show up that day. Were told not to show up, certain people.
Wow.
Yeah, so I heard, again, actually, back then, and I was a big Bill Clinton fan back then before I knew better, but I had heard in the late 90s that were certain things, it was right around when the Lewinsky thing, it's almost like the Lewinsky situation was to take away from whatever else was going on, to turn focus on we don't impeach the president because he got head by his, what's it called?
Secretary.
Yeah, secretary, whatever she was, but back then we were all focused on that. It was like, look over here and, all this other stuff's going on. Suppose there was a lot of things that were, destroyed in that building that were records that might have been, implemented Clinton on stuff. That's what I had heard back then. I still hear that. But with that said, there was an officer who, was definitely the definition of a hero. Terrence Yelke, if I'm doing that right. He saved 4 people that day. But, and I have to look this up to grade the source, but Officer Yiki, he saved 4 people that day, crawled in the building and back, pulled people under rubbish, etc. And per the site, riflewarrior.com, it's Craig Roberts, he's a lieutenant colonel, U.S. retired. He published a site speaking that, of course, Officer Yiki, he was supposed to receive a Medal of Honor from this Oklahoma City, and this was going to be on May 11th of the following year. He ended up committing suicide on May 8th.
Wow.
And according to this website, the official report said suicide. Anyone who believes that an ANFO bomb destroyed Murrah and other surrounding buildings will believe this. According to the report, Terry slashed himself 11 times on both forearms before cutting his own throat, twice near the jugular vein. Then apparently seeking an even more private place to die, he crawled another mile of rough terrain away from his car, climbed a fence before shooting himself in the head with a small caliber revolver.
Damn, he didn't bleed out from the cuts to the neck?
Yeah, and it says that he.
I swear my wife found the knife 12 times, officer.
And this gentleman actually breaks down. I wish you could see this. Definitely check it out on riflewarrior.com. He breaks down all the different pinpoints and spots in the skull and everything else. He goes into very, very detail. But he also said that when the officer went in the building, he called his wife crying, like this big man, this tough man. Officer Merritt, impeccable record, who saved 4 people again, called his wife crying, saying, "This isn't adding up. This is not right. This is not what's going on."
Wow.
And so again.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, anytime things go missing or there's hints of something going on, that it's nothing like the U.S. government to add fuel to the fire. They just began releasing satellite phones to all the senators. They offered them to all 100 senators. 50 have already taken them up on it. They're telling them to keep the phones with them, keep them close when they're traveling. They say it's for in case of a disruptive event that may or may not happen in the near future. They want to make sure that they're able to communicate if cell phones go down or other forms of communication go down, which is kind of weird timing at the same time as, a large amount of explosives go missing in the U.S. and then senators are told to expect a disruptive event that could take down internet and cell phones and things like that. And
That's crazy.
there's a lot of conspiracies behind that. People are saying they're going to do it to rig the next election or to,
Take the grid out for a
yeah,
while.
take the grid out. A lot of different things. Again, I put my tinfoil hat on when I speak this, but it's pretty crazy that, right about the same time, it's like you hear one story and then you hear the other story and you kind of put two and two together and you kind of wonder what's really going on.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. I mean, it's a lot of crazy things that are going on right now. We're talking, kind of switch stories. Is Jim Brown and Tina Turner passed away?
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
It's kind of showing me, like, first of all, that we're getting older.
You're older?
Well, you are, Father Time. And that our legends are people we grew up watching are going to start passing away, which is.
Aren't all Mitch's childhood legends dead? Because that was like, what, the 1700s? Father Time?
But what is crazy is, as far as Jim Brown, my father had me start, when I first started playing football, my father had me start watching Jim Brown, arguably the greatest running back of all times. I wore 32 through my whole career, all the way up until the pros, because of Jim Brown. You guys got to go back and look at what this man did in the short amount of time. Gail, we have great running backs out of Gail Sayers, we got Emmitt Smith,
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, you got, who was that, Walter Payton.
Even LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Get slept on.
But to me, Jim Brown was the epitome of a running back.
He was the guy's guy.
Yeah, he was the guy's guy. And not only was he was a football player, but he was also an activist.
Of course,
and off the field.
And an actor, too.
Yeah, and an actor too. So he was a triple threat, and he's going to be missed. Like I said, we're all sad to see him go, but like I said, we're all getting older, and we're going to start seeing people that we admire and love start to pass away, which is crazy to me.
Here's the tough thing, and this is what leads me to drink sometimes. But
Not on the show, though.
yeah, no, of course not. I just drink my alkaline water. But is you take that sentiment, and we're taking it with celebrities, and we're taking it with idols, or I hate using the word idol, but when you're a kid, you didn't know any better. Whatever people you look up to, you emulate, you respect. I should say that's the best way to look at it. But also with the people we like our parents, our grandparents. We're getting to the point where grandparents are pushing it, and then it's parents and that's that's the one thing I lived my life to the fullest. People that know me know that, but that's the scary part.
Yeah, just to get kind of personal with it, my aunt just passed away. 4 days ago. I got to go back home and pay my respects at her funeral. But she lived to, she was 90 years old. She outlived my father and my uncle, which is great. And she lived a great, great, great life. But it just shows, we all got an expiration date at some certain point. So
Yeah, I thought it was pretty crazy when I heard about Tina Turner, and I looked it up, realizing that she was, in her early 80s. And I was like, man, I remember growing up, like, seeing her as, like, she was kind of like a sex symbol and an icon in this. And it's like, to think that she's now in her 80s is pretty crazy.
And she was in Mad Max, too.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like you get these people and we're starting to get up there, a little bit in age. And then these people that, as we were growing up, they were, in their 20s and 30s and 40s. And now they're all the ones that are, pushing 70, 80, getting ready.
Hey, speaking of real quick, to give Tina Turner her flowers, of course, you have a favorite Tina Turner song?
What's Love Got to Do with it? Yeah, that would probably be my thing.
I would agree with that one. That's the classic.
Don't get me wrong, that's what, 83 or 84 or whatever. Yeah, so don't get me wrong, I agree too. Even though you got Rolling on the River, you got
Actually, sing Pink Cadillac. That song.
Yeah. I like that one too.
I'm gonna tell you, I remember that song.
Or actually, was that her? Or was that Stephanie? I can't remember now.
I don't know, but I just remember that song growing up, like songs like that and Tina Turner songs being on the radio when summertime we would take the road trips, jump in my parents' car and drive to California or drive to Colorado to see family, and Pop's playing, the R&B music in the car, so you'd get like the Tina Turners and the Michael Jacksons and all that stuff, and like that's the music I grew up on as a little kid, sitting in the back seat listening to all that stuff. So it's pretty crazy when someone like that is now gone, and it's they're getting to that age just where they're older and they're going to start, they're going to start dropping, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of dropping and losing legends, the Lakers got eliminated.
Yeah, I know. My pick to win it all, they got beat. It's crazy. I mean, they got swept. I mean, Denver was definitely the better team.
Nuggets in 4.
It was just crazy to me. Jamal Murray just put on a clinic. I mean, just a shooting clinic, and Djokovic showed why he arguably should have won the MVP. This man went. I think 2 of the 4 games he had 3 threes.
And triple doubles and
triple.
Yeah.
This guy's
He's a triple-double machine.
He's unstoppable.
He's like 7'2".
I wish we could settle I just appreciate the eras, but part of me goes, man, in the whole video game mindset and the way they try and sell everything, I would love to see him versus Akeem Olajuwon. You know what I mean? Just to see who could do what. I think they,
Well, their games are a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, that would be a great matchup because you got the Kareem Shake.
Yeah.
He'd come down and be shooting fallaways off him, and then would Kareem be able to go out and guard him because Jokic can hit from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, it's
back then they weren't jumping out to the 3-point line to cover other centers, so it's definitely a different style of basketball.
And the centers didn't pass like Jokic
they didn't pass
passed.
like they did either.
It'd be interesting, man. It'd be very
Definitely.
interesting.
But going back to LBJ, right after the game, they asked him, of course, these stupid questions where I feel is unfair because you just lost. Your season just got over. Emotional loss, and they asked him if he was going to retire. And, he said, I got to go back. I got to contemplate it. I got to see how my body's going to hold up. And, he's 30 years.
Didn't they say he had a foot injury after the fact?
Yeah, he says he's got a foot injury. He's 38 years old. But, in Game 4, he led the team in scoring, which was incredible. He said that he's better than 90 to 95% of the players that are in the NBA, which I do agree with. I don't think he should have said that. I think, he should have let somebody else say that. So basically he's saying he can play. I think he's not going to retire. I think it was just, like I said, after a loss like that, you're just so emotional. I think you're going to take, some time, a couple months, and then get back. He's still hungry for the game. You can see that.
I'm not leaving.
I think it's funny that in athletics is the only profession where we go 38. Oh, he's old.
Yeah, right.
He can barely walk anymore. It's come on, 38.
Let's put it even more perspective. We sit there and we go, oh my gosh, the guy that's getting paid $50 million has to work. He has to play back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We don't give a shit about a dude working on a roof in the middle of the summer in Arizona that goes back to his family.
67 hours a week.
Yeah, exactly.
70 hours a week.
He gets like $20 an hour, and his family don't give a shit. But when it comes to LeBron, oh my God, poor baby. He's back-to-back games. He's 38.
Right.
But the dude on the roof, 60. We don't. Here's the thing. When have you ever walked into a Walmart and said the greeter was 72? She's 72.
I can't believe she's still doing it at such a high level. She said hi to everybody that walked in.
Is she going to retire? Maybe she'll wait till she plays with her son at Walmart.
Oh, my God.
Her grandson's going to be a bagger there.
Y'all are wild.
She gets to pick all the Walmart employees she wants to work with.
Y'all are crazy.
Hey, she's the LeBron in Walmart, baby.
Yeah. So, Mitch, give me your opinion. Is he coming back next year or?
Okay, I'm kind of torn on two things. I think he's, LeBron's smart as shit. He's a leverage guy. So this is, in my opinion, it's a message. It's twofold. It's 6G chess again, 6D chess. It's a message to the Lakers. Basically do as I want, which they've been doing, but more leverage, like, go get Kyrie, sign Austin Reeves, AK-15 or whatever they call it,
AK-40. Oh, yeah,
what's his name? Yeah, AK-15, right?
Yeah, AK-15, yeah.
Or AR-15, sorry.
AR-15,
That's right.
something.
I was thinking AK-47. AR-15, Austin Reeves 15, my bad.
Right.
But, get him, bring Kyrie in, I'm sure, and get that done, and then, all of a sudden he'll play. That's my first part, but it's twofold. If he doesn't like the terms or whatever, he can sit back, rehab his knee or his leg or his foot. His foot, and sit out maybe this year, which would have been the last year on this Laker contract, and then pop back in next year. And whoever picks Bronny after 1 year at USC, that's where he goes.
So you really think LeBron is going to sit out a whole season and just watch it go by? I don't think that's his nature. I don't think that's in him.
I have a little bit of a different take on this, and I know you guys probably don't agree, but I think LeBron's going to not exercise his option with the Lakers. He's going to sit out. He's going to nurse that foot. He's going to maybe get a surgery on the foot or, some kind of thing that's going to keep him out for an extended period. I think he's going to sit out half a year to 3/4 of next season, and then he's going to join a contender and try to win one more title, sign a 1-year deal halfway or 3/4 of the way through the season, try to win another title.
With your OKC team?
No, I don't think OKC.
Aren't they the favorites according to you?
No, I just said that they could be a surprise team.
Well, maybe they could surprisingly get LeBron James.
You take my words and you mix them up. But I think
that'd be as big a bomb as the OKC bomb.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. I think LeBron is all about titles and about his legacy, and I think that he knows rightfully that he needs another title. I think he knows that, and I think the average fan knows that he's an amazing, one of the top 3 or 5 NBA players of all time. But I think to him, he wants to be in that top 1 or top 2.
Here's one thing that bothers me. Let's get this.
No. Before you, here's my thing. Do you actually think, Mitch? Do you actually think that's in his nature? I mean, because when you think that title would kind of that would be an asterisk on that title if he sat and cherry picked. And I'm a LeBron fan, so don't.
Here's the thing, and I call it. I think I don't like the LeBron sexuals. Mm-hmm. The people that defend him as apostles, that defend him through thick and thin, and and make these narratives up that don't even need to be happen. That it's crazy. But in all fairness, I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. I don't think he'll sit out to wait to pick a team. Not only the headaches from it, the backlash from it, but also just even moving situation. The only thing I think he'd move for would be his son. That's just my opinion. Like if there's a situation where maybe you said before, we were talking beforehand that, is his son even draftable, whatever. His younger son supposedly is going to be the better prospect. First of all, I'm going to root for Bronny, because that's a great story in itself, because it's one thing to beat Bron, and and he had a story. It's amazing. But imagine being the pressure of being the son.
Right.
And just like Michael Jordan's son. I know they talked about him being
Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler?
Not that one. His real son. Not his illegitimate son. His real son. Allegedly. No, but he played basketball, but he never. I don't think he could take the pressure and the expectation that was put in front of him.
He took the pressure and expectation dating Pittman's wife.
Yeah. Well, hey. He gets the assist for that one.
We can get
Let's give him an applause for that.
Now, I agree with you saying. I mean, look at John Elway's. Not the same sport, but look at John Elway's son. He was supposed to come here to Arizona State, and just, sometimes the shadow is just that big.
And then is there a hunger? Like you grew up under. You have everything.
Right.
You live in this. I don't know. It's different. It's different the second time. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean it can't happen. Look at the Mannings.
Yeah, we're going to look at the young Manning. Where's he at? Somewhere in Texas, I think.
Yeah, Texas, exactly.
So
I heard
what's
he's
he
awful
going to do?
though.
I don't know. That he was all the hype, so we're going to see what happens to him.
Cooper's son?
Yeah, I heard
Cooper?
he couldn't hit the side of a barn, but that's another story in itself. But
are you talking about Peyton when you were in camp?
Wow.
Wow, playing. Oh, wow. We do have some stories about that.
Later down the road. No, he's a great quarterback. No, he is. But no, let's talk about another story. Big fight coming up. July 29th, Spence versus Crawford.
2 undefeated boxers.
Yes.
Finally getting what we want to see in boxing.
Yes, exactly. I think after this last fight with Lomachenko and what's his name?
Haney.
It
Come on, that was crap.
Yeah, it left a little sour taste in people's mouths. So signing this fight is going to be huge. I've talked to a couple friends that are big boxing guys. I'm a big boxing guy. Everybody's starting to, pick sides. I'm going with Crawford on this fight. I think this is going to bring that hunger out of him. This is what the fight that he's been looking for. Nick, I know you have a different opinion on that.
Yeah, I think Errol Spence is just a beast. And here's the problem I have with these big super fights. If there's not a definitive victor, not a knockout or TKO, people are so rabid fans of their boxer that they can't stand to see that their boxer lost the fight. And there's always going to be controversy on any decision, even if the fights are close or even if they're blowouts. The other side's always going to be like, we got robbed. This fight was closer. We should have won.
So you're saying Haney won?
Haney absolutely did not win.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
But what I'm saying is, I was reading a lot of comments online, and a lot of people are like,
Are you still
Haney,
mad about Canelo Triple G?
They're talking about Haney was a master class in boxing, and he outboxed Lomachenko, and I was like, what fight were you watching?
Not from the eye test.
And I really didn't have a dog in the fight, but I just watched the fight subjectively and was like, Lomachenko won that fight by at least one round, if not two.
Exactly.
And I hate a lot of times in these early rounds where nothing really happens, and they're like, whoa, well, he threw one extra punch, and he really dominated that round. It's like, no.
And it's equal to the one that, this is crazy.
I tell people all the time, I said, if you really want to see who won the fight, go back and watch the fight without the commentary.
Yeah.
And just
And without the liquor.
Yeah, and that too, and see who landed the cleaner shots, the more power shots. That fight was a travesty. But hey, they're trying to set up another. I think Haney, Tank Davis down the road.
Tank Davis would
Destroy him. I'm not a big Tank Davis fan, but I respect his ability. He's a monster. Obviously, proved it against Garcia. He would destroy Haney.
Destroy Haney, exactly.
Yeah, but so this fight's being held in Vegas. A lot of things are going on in Vegas right now. I don't know if you guys saw, Tom Brady becoming part owner of the Raiders.
That's pretty. Considering he's a Bay Area boy,
Yeah.
he went to what did he go to? Sarah High School. I think. I don't know if he's 92, 93. I can't remember. But Sarah High School in the Bay Area, and so I know his team was the Niners. I know Montana was his guy, but to get a part ownership in the Raiders, which is also a Bay Area team for a while. I mean, that's
crazy that with his tightness with New England and their owner, that they didn't offer him something, that he just jumped and took part ownership in the Raiders is pretty crazy.
Right. Now, here's the thing: Raiders don't have a quarterback. Can you be?
Hey, that was my son. We were talking about.
I stole it. See, sometimes I gotta rob.
Hey, you can't trust nobody nowadays.
He can't tell me none of the punchlines. But no,
I'm about to come up here with a vault before we.
But no, hey, real talk. Can he be an owner and a player?
I'm not telling you.
I'm just playing. Didn't Magic do it? Wasn't Magic a player coach?
It's different, player coach and player owner.
Yeah.
But I guess, do you know of any owners that are good enough to play in the league? I guess if they wanted to. I mean, I don't know if Jerry Jones wants to take over as quarterback for the Cowboys.
I don't know. Maybe the Cowboys will win. Sorry, Cowboys fans. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the intricacies of ownership and player, but that would be pretty interesting. And I could see if obviously we probably need to look that up. But I could actually see that being the play, seriously, because the Raiders really. No. Oh, talk about. Here's what's crazy though. Let's look at this. What's porn star Jimmy thinking right now?
Oh wow. Okay.
Let's look at that perspective.
Jimmy G.
And next thing you know, Tom Brady's like, that's why. Hit him up.
Oh man, y'all are wild. Speaking of wild, this past EDC, I don't know, EDC I went to last year. If you guys don't know.
Yeah, you know me.
If you guys don't know what EDC is a electronic music festival.
Oh, I thought it was erectile dysfunction concert.
Conference. Erectile dysfunction conference. Paul went there last year. No comment.
Don't you start, Nick.
Hey, we know the rumors about you, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some of the people walk out of this house or get wheeled out.
But no.
Pause. See, I told you.
Yeah, you put my business all out of the street and stuff like that. But no, it's electric music concert. I was there last year. It's at their racetrack out there, and if you look, in a distance, it looks like a small city. I mean, 500,000 people descend on this place, and it's crazy for a whole weekend. If you haven't done it, it's an experience that you have to do. I love it because the energy is crazy out there, and I'm a big energy guy. But one of the stories that came out of there was this receipt that from the VIP section. Nick, what was it like 277?
No, actually, the total after all the fees, which Mitchell discussed, $323,848.39.
Wow.
And I'll just say this and we'll jump back on that. But I'm just disgusted. I get anxiety over it doesn't matter about who can pay for what. I get anxiety over stupid costs, because it's just not sustainable over the course of whatever. So if you like it so much, it's not sustainable. For most people. Most people are listening, most people are talking, but these motherfuckers spent $2,700 in water.
$2,700.
$2,700 in water.
Was that Evian? Was that Fuji?
It better have been. I'm wearing a purple. Should have been water from Lake Minnetonka. but they had $25K in taxes, so $25,000 in taxes. Whoa. They had a 9% administration fee, so $20,848, and they had 20% service charge, $46,329. And I'm assuming the service charge isn't even tip?
I don't even think they consider that the tip. I think that's just a charge they put on top to help pay their expenses.
So it's called the RIP. That's the RIP.
That's the rate. That's the rate.
What's the tip on $323,000?
At least $60,000. At least.
Yeah, let's do some math on that.
It's frowned upon if it's not.
That is true.
Are you tipping 20% there?
Man,
I mean, you're already paying a 20% service fee. So what's 20% more?
I gotta say this.
Or is the service fee the tip?
I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, it's probably included.
Okay.
But
Well, I'll tell you right now, and there was I saw some stories on this. Service fees don't necessarily mean tip, and some of the places are tacking them on to help cover insurance costs and things like that. So a lot of the bottle service people are getting screwed out of their tips because they see that there's a 10% or 15% service charge. They think that's the tip when it's not. And I've heard there's been some complaints about that.
I mean, it's kind of like the resorts charging the resort fee now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw a lot of that come after COVID. I mean, all these extra fees.
Going on before COVID, a resort fee, parking fee.
Yeah, all this.
I mean, let me just say this real quick because I've got the receipt in front of me.
Okay.
All right. They got the Casa Azul Reposado, $1,995, right? They got Absolute Elixir, 1.75. Now, don't get me wrong. If you never, I'm going to lay you on game. Absolute Elixir is probably one of the best vodkas.
You got me a bottle of that.
Really?
It's delicious.
Absolute Elixir is a high-end, smooth as shit. Not as good as Paddington, but it's good,
I love my vodka. So.
And 2 bottles of that, $16.50 a piece. Like I said, the water bucket, 36 bottles of $75 each, or $75 a bucket, or whatever it was, $2,700. Red Bulls, $300 in Red Bulls. That's it. That's kind of surprising. Ace of Spades, 1.5 liter rosés, 4 bottles, $30,000. What's it called? They have Ace of Spades 3.0, the 3.0 liter Brutes, 4 bottles, $25,000 a piece, $100,000. And yeah, Ace Rosé, $90,000. I mean, this is crazy.
Right.
I mean, I know we've all blown up Vegas and done some crazy shit. What's your guys' crazy Vegas balling out story?
Oh man, we're gonna go there.
Oh well, we're gonna go to a couple of them, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I
I think the first story that we probably need to tell is probably. So Mitch, this comes from a friend that was back in the Bay Area, and he got us. At that time, I don't know if it's even bigger, the biggest limo in the world.
Yeah, it was a Ford. So check this out. It was the world's biggest limo, and it was in Vegas. This had to be 2005. So I remember the trip now. Right. It was on my MySpace. But it was a Ford F650. If you look that up, that truck itself is like $300,000, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was a super stretch Ford F650, and he got it to pick up 6 of us.
Yes.
6 of us.
Yes.
And I remember, hey, Paul, that was right when Kanye was coming on scene. I'm going to get my Kanye on. He had the glasses. He had the blazer with the T-shirt. What did the T-shirt say?
I had, I like girls, I like girls.
Yeah. I remember walking out that bitch, what's it called? And everybody looking like, who the fuck are these dudes? What the hell? Like, we could walk right into Tao, which
Yeah.
people know 2005, Tao was popping.
Yeah.
Popping.
Big time.
We got to walk right in, too.
Yeah, we did. We walked right in. They put us in one section.
We weren't feeling it.
Yeah, we weren't feeling it.
It was
So yeah, it was kind of whack. And then they actually moved us to our own private section.
Yeah. Private room, private dance floor.
Yeah, private dance floor.
Private DJ. Bathroom.
Yeah. And then they had
Like 8 tables, intimate
exactly.
setting.
It was crazy. And then they.
But you could go out to the club, too, so I was,
Yeah, and we had our own private security. It was, that was walking us to the bathroom back and forth. And then another couple even sat down.
Oh, because they saw how we were doing it. They were like,
everyone like, hey, can we,
if we throw $1,000 in, can we party with you guys?
Yeah,
Sure.
So, yeah, exactly.
Did they spark up some weed, too?
Yeah, they sparked up some weed.
In the club, yeah.
In the club, we was.
2005, you bitch.
And, we was, we were passing around. We had a great time that night. I think that was that the it was the day before the
NFL draft. Okay, so I just got to say this. So, so I brought up one of the waitresses from one of the clubs we used to go to at the, the door. And she had a boyfriend at the time. So, she was a good sport. She came up, and she had just got a breast job. And so, she had Vicodins. So one of the best experiences ever, and I'm not a pill guy, but I'll say this, I was like, I remember I came to you guys like, oh my God. Like I got to get ready. She's like, hey, whatever, she's all, I'll go ahead and do this or whatever. So when I'm getting ready for the club, whatever that night, I pop out and she has Red Bull vodka and a Vicodin for me. When I get out, oh my God.
She was ready for you to go.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is life.
Right.
And then the next morning, like, after the clubs, like, this girl was so cool, We're watching the NFL draft, and, like, it was one of the best drafts because it was Reggie Bush's draft. I remember that. It was Leinart's draft, and Leinart fell, and he went to the Cardinals.
Right, yeah.
So we're sitting there, and we're like, then all of a sudden, we're all on the phones, like, I was like, what's up? That's how we were. We're on the phones, hey, you see that? You see this draft? Whatever, Yeah, so I will always remember that trip. That night at the club, plus E40's Tell Me When to Go was popping back then.
Right.
And people are looking at me like, what's this dude doing? He's ghost riding the whip. So it was amazing times. We got the experience Tao. And we had a great time with some good folks. And it was cool. It was me, you, Ken.
Yep. Yeah. That was a great time. But my favorite Vegas story is probably when you guys surprised me on my birthday. So
Okay.
Yeah. So this one I was back, and I'd gone to Vegas with my ex-wife, and she didn't let me know that you guys had talked about it. It was you Ken and Steve.
Yep. Where were you at, Nick?
Probably home broke.
He wasn't that greedy back then.
He wasn't that greedy back then, definitely. And so she's like, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." So I was like, "Oh, cool." And so she popped out of the room. So my dirty ass thinking, "Oh, okay, she gonna bring a female up in there." I'm getting ready in the bed. I'm like, "Yeah, we about to set it off over here," and all of a sudden I hit the door open and see these 3 knuckleheads walking the door. I was like, "What?"
He's all, hey, with the sheet on. Hey, I'm happy to see you guys, but hold on, let me put some clothes on first.
I was so glad to see you guys. You guys came out.
And here's some irony on that trip too. So I'm gonna say a little bit.
All right.
So we're by the door, ready to knock, and I remember you guys stayed at the hotel at Mandalay.
Yep.
And so which was super baller.
Yeah, that's
before they changed the Dalama, before the dude got killed there, before the shootings.
This is all
like
back
this
in
was
the day.
super baller.
Right.
And that was like the spot. That those suites were amazing. 2 bathrooms in them, the sunken tubs, all that stuff. TV in the bathrooms. Right. What's it called? We got those later on the clothing show. We'll talk about that. But so I just remember we seen this like Ken and Barbie couple like bronzed out coming down the hallway, the long ass hallway with these bags. And I hit Ken, I go, I bet they're going to Paul's room. No, whatever, you guys, whatever. They're not going to balls. And I go, yeah, I bet. I just said, they walk up, hey, you guys must be Mitch and Ken. Oh, I told you, motherfucker. Hey, and it was that couple from Canada.
Yeah. It was my friends from Canada. So everybody had come for my birthday. If anybody knows me, my birthday is like a big experience. I do all kind of extravaganzas. I'm kind of crazy on my birthday, just because my birthday wasn't that important when I was growing up. So I made it important, once I got older. But we got dressed and we went out. We went out to dinner. But where it gets good.
Well, first of all, should we go to Steve? Remember Steve won the roulette
Yeah,
table?
yeah. That's true. But I think we were getting ready, and Steve had gone down to the roulette table, and he had hit.
He's like the Rain Man of roulette.
Yeah. Well, he plays 0-0
Yeah.
all the time, and I don't know. It's a wild theory. I think it's 17 to 1 odds or something like that.
Yes.
He's supposed to hit every 17 times, but
Yep.
I guess that night he hit big. I mean, I think he hit for like $1,000 or something like that.
1,001 roll, and then he hit again or something.
Yeah, something like that. So
he was making some money.
So he had some money in his pocket. We were ready.
This had to be what 2003 or 4 too, by the way, because we went to Rain and Rain was popping. back.
Yeah, that's
Rain
right.
and the
That's
Palms.
right. Yeah.
The
So,
Palms.
at the Palms, yeah. So we went over to the Rain.
03 probably.
Yeah. Matter of fact, hold on. I think this was my last year when I was in the league because I had my player's card and they respected it over there. They showed us some love. We sat up there and we danced and stuff like that. But when you're in Vegas, sometimes you got to go to a gentleman's club. So
Oh, but before that, let me just say this. I just want to paint the picture. So we're going up to the Palms, and it had to be 03-ish or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, like my Vegas, like I've gone to a lot of Vegas clubs, but all of a sudden the Palms was like new level. The Maloofs owned it, it was super popping. And so I'm like, hey, we got to figure out how to get in this bitch, whatever. So we walked in, figured out how to tip, like slide the money to the guy so we could get by. So we walk in, cool. It worked. We each gave him $40 just to walk the fuck in instead of waiting in line, which was costing probably $20 to $40 anyway. But the line's like 2 hours, 3 hours to get in.
Right.
So before then, 3 guys, and they weren't doing bottle service back then. They were like not on the radar. People didn't know that shit. So we walk in, and I go, I got first round of drinks, guys. Cool. Red Bull, what do you guys want? Red Bull vodka. I go, I need 2 Red Bull vodkas, right? So they do these little plastic cups. All right, that'll be $80, sir. Like little plastic cups. So I give her a 20, $100, 1 round. Let's go, whatever. So we go out there, and but yeah, we had a blast. That shit was fun as hell.
yeah, but it got better. So we went to this strip club. It's called Spearmint Rhino, and at the time, Spearmint Rhino was popping.
Yeah.
I don't go in there anymore because the other time, but we ain't.
The other time when we were all there.
The incident.
Yeah,
The incident.
But
That's another story for another time.
Yeah, but that's another story. And we'll talk about this good time that we're there. So
You're a sellout. I'm just kidding.
so we go into this club. Now, mind you, it's like by the time we get there, it's probably like 12, 1 o'clock, right?
I think it's 1 or 2 because rain was starting to die down.
Yeah, that's right. But it was at nighttime. So I want to paint the picture for this. So it's nighttime. So we go in there and we go in there and we're a big group. So I actually know one of the bouncers at the time. He used to play at Arizona State when I was playing down in Arizona, and he recognized me, and so he put us in this back off section, and we were having such a good time. So we were tipping so much, the girls were coming up in our section and stuff like that, and we were getting kind of rowdy. I remember.
Your tops came off.
Yeah, I know she's gonna hate this, but I gotta say it. It was my ex-wife. She was, oh man, she was so fun back then. But she became like. She was running around in her panty and bras. The girl from the other Canadian company, she was running around. We were causing so much.
They're like, you guys got chill. Yeah.
But they were loving it. So anyway, I forgot to tell the story. So when Steve comes to the club, he just beelines it, disappears. He was just out. So I didn't think anything of it. We were like, whatever, something like that. So.
We're having fun.
Yeah, we're having fun. And our boy Ken, he meets this girl. She's from Spain, and so we all go to the back room, and it's me, him, and my ex-wife all in the back room with this girl from Spain, and we're up there getting lap dances, and then my ex-wife was like, "Oh, this is boring. I have more fun out in the main room. I'm gonna just leave you guys back here, right?" Yeah. And so we're sitting back, we're getting lap dances and stuff like that. Ken turns over and whispers me in the ear, and he's like, "She's from Spain. She's going to be my wife. I'm going to meet her family."
Have you seen my baseball in Spanish?
I was like, bro.
Baseball.
I was like, calm down. I was like, it was so funny. He was so mesmerized. I mean, she was a beautiful.
No, she was beautiful. Yeah, she was.
She was a beautiful, beautiful girl.
I wouldn't know.
It's so we finish up the dance. I think they exchange information, and we go back out to the front. They're still causing ruckus. By this time, I was like,
remember, I just remember the car ride. She wants me to meet her father.
Yeah. It was wild. But at this time, I was like, okay, we've had our time. It's time for us to get out of here. But then we start looking around, and we can't find our boy Steve. And I'm like, where's Steve? Where in the world is Steve? And then all of a sudden, I see him coming. The bouncer just
walking
him out the back room and like throwing him down by us. And I'm like, Steve, where you been? And Steve is drunk as shit right now by that time. Yeah. And I was like, Steve, where's all your money? All his money's gone. Yeah. And so,
and I think let me do the story justice because we found out a little bit more of the story later.
I'm gonna tell you that. So we finally round everybody up, and like I said, when we went in there, it was dark. Yeah. When we came out, it was the sun was coming up. It was like dusk to dawn.
I was just gonna say, it's dusk till dawn or varsity blues when I come out the strip club.
Oh man, it was like the sun was in your eye. You're like, oh my gosh, it was that was an epic night. It was one of them Vegas nights that you see like what's the movie?
Hangover.
That shit was hella.
Except you remember it. Yeah. I'm not sure Steve remembers it all, but you guys do.
Now, I'm going to let Mitch do the story. So you guys are you sharing a room at this time?
That's right. This is the fuckboy stages, So, yeah, we were all sharing a room. This sounds terrible now. But this is, keep in mind, it's like 03 and shit, and I think we got
money was right now.
We got a plug from our boy Steve Harvey. So I got you guys a free room over at Terrible's, which I think at the...
They knocked that down about 20 years ago. But go ahead.
No, they what's it called? I think it had the Hooters in it too, which I think it ended up becoming the Hooters Casino. I could be wrong, but it was called Terribles or something. And so we stayed there. And so me and Ken had the beds, and Steve had the floor. And what's funny too, we went down to play craps earlier. We're going back up the elevator, and we're like not even halfway up the elevator. We can start smelling weed, right? Hella weed.
Right.
03. I bet that's Steve's fucking room. Hey, we fucking walk. As soon as we got the elevator, you can smell it all the way down, like 20 fucking doors. Hey, we fucking walk in. Steve, what the fuck? I put a towel under the door. It should be good. You guys can't smell it. Bro, we can smell it from the first floor through the elevator.
Right.
So that was one that just. So, two. Okay, so that next morning, you're drunk as shit. You don't know. Like, first we got in at 6 in the morning, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, it's like 9 or 10. We got to get out by 12 or whatever, we're heading back. And I just remember we wake up and I hear Steve say something. And he's like, oh, you're up. Oh, what the hell, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, bro, why'd you get kicked out? Well, I was getting, I was in the back room, got the super VIP dance, bottle of champagne or whatever. And then I threw up on the girl. But before that, and then he said something, and I'm not going to say what he said.
Right.
But he ended it with, before he passed back out, it was the best 3 seconds of my life. Hey, can we get a horn for that?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Holy shit. Shout out to the champagne room. Oh, my God. That shit was so funny. Man, I'm telling you, Vegas is just a walking story. I can't tell you. People have so many Vegas stories.
And that's allegedly, by the way.
All allegedly. That whole story is all allegedly. my God.
Hey, we're not going to Vegas this weekend, but we got Memorial Day coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you doing, Paul, for Memorial Day?
Memorial Day, I'm going to Vancouver, Canada. I've never been, so I'm gonna go up there.
Oh,
And
Love it.
Yeah, going up there to check it out. I got a food tour. My first day I'm up there.
Make sure you check out Cactus Club.
Okay.
Awesome food.
Definitely.
Beautiful women in there.
Yeah,
Great place.
Staying downtown. Just gonna check it out and walk around and have a good time. What's going?
let me tell you real quick, since we, speaking of Vancouver, Canada. So, our boy Lynn,
Yeah, shout out to Lynn.
Yeah, shout out to Lynn.
Oh, by the way, just shout out to DJ Wakita. He was, when I was in Vancouver, he was the DJ out there.
yeah, okay.
He took us around. We had a good time with him, so shout out to him too.
Okay.
So my boy Len was the first one that got me out to Vancouver back in the day, especially when I first got out here. I just met you guys, but we were just all bonding and vibing. You're playing ball. I see Nick every so often at the store or at that party at Ken's house every so often, right? But now I'm I'm in the mix. I'm living by myself in a 4-bedroom house, and I'm like, damn, like plans ain't going the way it was supposed to go. I'm supposed to raise a family out there. It didn't work that way.
Right.
So I'm like, shit. I work hard. I'm like, I'm out. So sometimes Len will call me. Oh, I got a plane flight. Let's go up to Seattle and Vancouver. All right. I go on a Friday, shut the store, whatever, go, whatever. And so I went out to Vancouver one time, and he's telling me how amazing it is, right? The women and everything else. So we go to this club, shout out Club Elite. That used to be the spot back in the day, right? So we go to Club Elite. We get in there. I go drinks. All of a sudden these Canadian girls are sitting next to us. We're, whatever. I buy them some drinks. We're sitting down. I'm double fisting drinks. I go back to get more before, real quick, double fisting. All of a sudden I'm sitting there. There's 3 girls. There's 2 of us. We're just talking. We were dancing. The bouncers come up to me. Yeah, you have to leave. I'm like, why? What are you talking about? I have to leave. You have to leave. You've been drinking too much. I go, that's your bartender's problem. He's got to check me. What the hell? And so I'm starting to get upset. Len's is sitting there, he ain't doing nothing. He's just laughing or whatever. And so I'm like, seriously, I'm upset. This is my trip, to go into Canada, and I've never been, and whatever. Don't ruin my Saturday night,
Right.
And so I'm starting to get aggressive with these dudes, and they're like, just go out for a little bit, and then you can come back in, just get some air or whatever. I'm all right. I'm going to do that to appease you guys, but then I'm coming back in, whatever. So of course I walk outside. I tell them I'll be back. I walk outside. All right, so I'm just going to walk out for a little bit, walk around the block, right? Yeah, walk around the block. So I stop at a couple of the bars, start drinking over the bars over there. I go, that's enough time. About 40 minutes of drinking, about 6 or 8 drinks. I come back. I'm ready to come back in like a little kid. Like, no, buddy, you're good. You can't come in. What? Now I want to fight everybody. Like I'm trying to fight everybody there. Right? And I go, well, you better get my friend or there's going to be problems. Like I'm trying to choke a guy, like whatever. And so they get Len. He finally comes outside and we go to breakfast. At least the girls came to breakfast with us, whatever. But so that story's done, and I'm just getting the story real quick. So about 6 months later, I'm back up there in Canada, right? We're going to go up Seattle to Canada. Now, at this time, this had to be 99 or whatever, 99. I dyed my hair blonde, right? I think this is before Eminem really popped, so I just want to put that on the record. I used to wear a visor, so I like my hair to be spiked up, and through the visor type shit backwards, and so I just dyed it. These girls that own the...
So Eminem took your vibe?
I mean, really, probably, And so anyway, I pop up there, and we're in line. It's the spot. It's the spot. Club Elite was a spot back in the day for hip-hop in Vancouver. So we're waiting to get in, and I go, hey, Lynn, these dudes, are they going to trip off me, what's it called from last time? Bro, that was 6 months ago. You got different colored hair. You know how many people come from around the globe to go to this place? We walk up to the door. You better not act up this time. You kicked out. You tried to fight on my bouncers.
They remember you after 6 months.
With different hair.
Wow.
Different hair.
Wow.
And I go, I apologize. I just want to get in. Don't mess up my night tonight. I got a certain set of skills.
That's called making an impression.
So I just had to say that real quick because the odds of that even happening are not even possible. Love Vancouver. You're going to have a great freaking time.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I wanted something different. All this summer, I'm going to be on the beach out in the sun. So I was like, let me get
working on your tan.
Yeah, definitely. As you can tell, I need to get a little bit more tanner. But now, so Greedy, where you going?
You know me, I'm going my home away from home. I'm going to San Diego.
You in San Diego?
Yeah. Speaking of beaches, just gonna chill.
You
at the
beach you.
The beach, Pacific or Mission, or maybe even La Jolla all weekend. Gonna go to my favorite spot, Sandbar on Mission Beach. Get some of their tacos and their queso. Just amazing little local spot that I'd love to go just chilling and sit on their rooftop little bar. and look out over the ocean and just have a few drinks and eat some food and usually recover from a hangover from the night before. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out there and having some fun.
Right.
What about you, Mitch?
Well, unlike you guys, I'm going to be staying in town, but I have a high school graduation. I need to,
Finally
celebrate.
graduating, huh?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
exactly. No, actually, I'm going to
Hold on. Give it up. Congrats.
I'm going to your ex-girlfriend's older sister's graduation.
That's fine. You can have her.
But no. So anyway, my nephew Irod, B-Rod's son. Shout out B-Rod, good
shout
fellas.
out.
And young Irod's graduating. So we're gonna be throwing a party, celebrating over the weekend and stuff. B-Rod's getting down on the grill. That dude can get down. I'll tell you what, that dude gets down on some hot dogs.
Yeah, I saw him making a cooking video of making some like cheese dip or something.
I'll tell you what, the two things that dude kills is hot dogs. He like slices the sides and puts like little he flavors them. He gets down on the hot dogs, and he also does the original like Little League nachos with the jalapenos, like from back in the day. He found the cheese and the jalapenos, so he gets down. So yeah, we're gonna throw it down for Irod's graduation, celebrate it and stuff. So I'll be in town, but I will make this up. I will be going out pretty soon.
All right, dope. All right, we got to the end. Let's start out with Greedy. Give me a thought of the day, babe.
Thought of the day. I didn't really have anything planned for thought of the day. So
All right, Paul, what about you?
So I just want to say, just be safe over the holiday weekends. I know sometimes people like to, have a little bit in excess, drink a little bit much, and, do whatever else you guys do a little bit much. But just be careful out there. Be respectful of everybody. Have a good time and enjoy yourself and try not to get too crazy. So
Even with sports betting?
that too, yeah. Greedy hats come in next week.
Yes.
Available. The first merch from the official 2 on the 10 podcast.
Yes, I'm looking for that,
The
yeah.
Greedy hat
Yeah.
coming soon.
Yes.
Does that mean you're going to build the website?
If I have to.
Yeah. Now, what is it? Shopify. So we're going to be off Shopify.
Okay. Well, I mean, just so you know, it is 2on10.com. So,
definitely.
it'll be coming soon.
Coming soon. Definitely. Mitch, what you got?
So, my thought of the day is with technology the way it is, with, I don't know if I'm sure everybody else does this, but I have this like game within a game on, on my phone with IG, especially. And Facebook, not so much by IG. I don't know if everybody else does this, but it's like you send certain things you see to your friends, right? You know what I mean? So like you see this funny video, you send it, and you kind of compartmentalize your friends. You go, oh, this person likes this video, this video, this video. Oh, this video is violent. This person likes this, this, and this. Oh, okay, this video is urban as shit, or, kind of hood. Okay, that's these guys here. That's this girl, whatever else. Oh, this one's kind of sensitive. Look, I'll send it to her. I'll send this. And so all of a sudden you look on your phone and you got like 25 motherfuckers and you're going back and forth. And that's how we kind of communicate nowadays, I think. I know I'm not the only one. And you know who you're sending shit to. So you just send them videos. You don't talk to them.
Right.
You send them videos. And every once in a while there's a comment, a little comment afterwards. But I just find it ironic. I kind of laugh. I sit back. I realize that sometimes people flood me. I wake up the next day, 23 from one person, 22, 20. Damn, I got homework tonight, shit. But don't get me wrong, I'm also guilty of that. So
Yeah, I get them from Mitch. I wake up at like 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I got 10 new messages.
Yeah, and it's don't get me wrong. It's like your brain kind of works, and it goes okay, and it kind of already is on autopilot. It knows who would like what. Oh, conspiracy. This person, this send. This person, this. I know who to avoid on certain ones. There's people that do not think out their box. Oh, I'm not going to send them anything left or right,
Right.
Because they just get upset. They get more mad at you.
Right.
So I won't even send it to them, But it's just interesting, this whole little game within a game of the message section of your IG. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I guess that's a new way we communicate. It's not too many words. It's more, but there is some, I guess there is some, thought behind it though, because it's like, I do send stuff to people that I think will appreciate it. I do send stuff to people that I think will relate to it. And I definitely like to send stuff that is motivating, or that's kind of a pick me up, or that's every so often, just so that people know that, someone cares type shit.
Right.
So it's just funny though.
Well, it really went from memes now to video.
Yeah.
You
Oh, of
send
course.
everybody memes back and forth. Now it's the video.
Definitely. Man, me with just seeing, I hate to end on a somber note, but just seeing what, people passing, like we talked about, Tina Turner, Jim Brown, my aunt, and stuff like that. Life is short, bro. And so, tomorrow's never promised. So get out. Stop saying that, I'm going to get to it. That's on my bucket list and stuff like that. Make it happen. I don't care. Figure it out. You'd be like, I don't have the money and stuff like that. Well, pull some extra shifts or do something. Go on the side of the road and panhandle. I don't care what you do. But don't make any more excuses. That's what I'm saying is, like, life is too short and you should live like that. But on that note, we are out of here.
Episode 11, 210 podcast.
Love ya.
We out.